At the beginning of the drama, two children are shown, where a baby boy, while playing with a baby girl outside a church, marries her and says, "From today, you are only mine." After this, a famous school is shown, where during break time, all students are coming out of the class. Here, three girls are reading comic books, even though bringing comics to school is forbidden. Among them, the female lead, Luigi, is shown, who is the school topper and always ranks first. Suddenly, all the girls make a shocking sound upon seeing a boy. That boy is the drama's main male lead, Sheng, who transferred to this school a few days ago. Luigi doesn't pay any attention to him, and when Sheng leaves, her classmate says to Luigi, "You didn't even look at Sheng? Why are you always lost in formulas?" At that moment, a teacher sees the three of them reading comics, and when he comes to catch them, one girl hands the comics to Luigi. Now the teacher thinks Luigi was also reading comics. Then Sheng helps Luigi, and they both hide in a place. After the teacher leaves, Sheng says to Luigi, "The teacher has left. We should also leave now." Luigi lovingly watches him as he leaves. Then Luigi thinks, "When I first met my crush Sheng, I had no idea that he was the boy I had been searching for since childhood." Luigi is going back to class when the teacher stops her and asks her to come to the office, where he tells her, "You have become the top scorer again. You got 900 points. And he asks for her help in making the list. When Luigi is making the list, she finds out this time the school topper is not Luigi, but Sheng. The teacher tells Luigi, "It's okay. I am sure you will get your position back by the end of the semester." Luigi remains silent and writes Sheng's full name on the list, which reminds her of her childhood because her childhood crush had the same name. Then she sees that there is a 0.6 centimeter rank gap between her and Sheng, which Luigi considers very symbolic. Then Luigi is solving a math sum that she is unable to solve. Just then, Sheng comes and says, "Your formula is wrong." At first, Luigi nervously recognizes him, but later she tells him an anime love story in which the boy loves the girl very much. But to confirm if the girl also loves him, he asks her, "Sunny day or cloudy? Which day do you like?" To which she says, "Cloudy," which means the girl also loves him. Sheng laughs and says, "Quite romantic." Then he starts asking Luigi, "By the way, what is your name?" and starts looking back at her. But by then, Luigi gets up and leaves. The next day, Luigi comes outside Sheng's class with a form, where he is playing a game with his friends. When Sheng is coming to take the form from her, Luigi's heartbeat becomes very fast. In her imagination, Sheng says, "Thanks, Luigi," to which she says, "Do you know my name?" He says, "Yes, I know your name because your name always came below mine on the list." But in reality, when Sheng comes, he just takes the form and leaves without saying her name. After this, while playing table tennis, she is very angry and decides to become a student ambassador to make him say her name in front of everyone. Then, in the library, she is reading some very difficult books related to it, when Sheng arrives and is quite surprised to see her reading such hard books. After this, one day, Sheng calls for Luigi. Luigi thinks, "Is he really calling me?" But he just asks her, "Can you call a girl named Hania?" She goes and tells Hania, "Sheng is calling you outside the class," where they both start talking, which breaks Luigi's heart. And while solving a sum on the board, she breaks the chalk in jealousy. Then finally, the day comes to choose the student ambassador. Luigi is confident that she will leave Sheng behind. She imagines, "If I win, I will tell Sheng a secret of mine." But Sheng withdraws his name from the competition by giving the teacher some reason. And Luigi wins, but she is not happy because Sheng has ignored her again. Therefore, she decides, "Now I will meet Sheng face to face and introduce myself." But when she goes outside his class, she finds out that he is out somewhere. Therefore, when she reaches Sheng outside, she sees that Sheng is happily talking with a girl. Her heart breaks again. Luigi says to herself, "A good storyteller knows where to end the story, and I have ended my one-sided love story right here." And she leaves from there. Then college life starts. It is Luigi's first day, and there again, Sheng appears in front of her. This means Sheng has also taken admission there, but the same girl is still with him. Therefore, Luigi misses the chance to meet him. Now, Sheng's hostel scene is shown where his roommate is Jang. Jang had broken his hostel mate's phone and was worried. Therefore, he decides, "I'll go back to my hometown because I don't have the money to fix the mobile." Sheng consoles him. Sheng fixes his phone. Jang says, "Thanks," to Sheng, and they both become best friends. The next day, as Luigi is walking on campus, Jang sees her and slips and falls, which everyone present there makes a lot of fun of, but Luigi quietly leaves from there. Jang starts to like Luigi. After returning to the hostel, he tells Sheng, "I met a girl from our school, Lu." Sheng says, "Oh, Luigi, I remember her because her name was always below mine." Jang says, "No problem, now I will befriend Luigi." After this, Luji has gone to buy a dress for herself. There she likes a dress a lot. A girl says, "This dress looks so good on you that even your boyfriend won't be able to take his eyes off you." Hearing this, Luji becomes happy. The next day, when the class ends and it starts raining, Sheng comes and stands very close to Luji. Luji becomes happy seeing him and imagines that she will talk to Sheng and tell him, "I have known you not just from school, but since childhood, when we both got married outside the church and you had said, 'You are only mine.'" Sheng says in astonishment, "Did I really say that?" But this is just Luji's imagination. In reality, Hanya comes to Sheng, wearing a dress exactly like Luji's. Sheng compliments her, and they both leave. Luji sadly returns to her room, cries, and writes about how much Sheng is hurting her. She also throws that dress in the dustbin. Then on the rooftop, Luji writes down her heart's feelings. "I like Sheng a lot." Then she hides that note among the plants. Then Luji's new roommate, Bali, arrives. Bali's boyfriend, Gavi, is also with her. They all exchange WeChat IDs. Gavi also scans Luji's ID and says, "If I can't contact Bali, I can ask you." Upon which Bali pushes him and tells him to leave. Then Bali asks Luji, "Do you have a boyfriend?" Luji gives no answer, upon which Bali understands that Luji has a crush on someone. After this, Luji finds out Sheng has broken up with Hania. Luji is very surprised. On the other side, Sheng is also sad and is standing on the rooftop where he hears a girl singing a song and is impressed by her voice. Before he could see her, his friend takes him from there, and that girl is Luji. After this, in the college library, Bali gives Luji tips on how to get her crush's attention. Bali herself tries to flirt with different boys but fails every time. In the end, a boy she teases turns out to be her real boyfriend, Gavi. He gets angry. "You are flirting with all the boys." To which she tells him, "I was just telling Luji ways to impress someone." The next day, while going to college, Luji sees a girl clinging to Sheng and saying, "Make me your girlfriend." To which Sheng refuses. As Luji passes by them, she deliberately pushes that girl. Here, Sheng recognizes Luji, and to confirm, he says, "Are you the Luji from school?" Then Sheng takes Luji to a cafe for coffee. There, for the first time, they both talk openly. Luji tells Sheng, "I have known you for a very long time." Sheng is surprised. She tells him many things about him, but then she gets embarrassed and leaves from there. But Sheng comes to stop her and asks for her WeChat ID. Luji becomes very happy, but she doesn't show him her phone because the wallpaper has a poem with both their names written on it. Instead, she searches for her ID on his phone and gives it to him. Then at night, Bali is sad because she is angry with her boyfriend. When Luji consoles her, Bali says, "You have never dated anyone, so you won't understand." Luji says, "I have liked a boy for 15 years. Upon which Bali is shocked and wants to hear her love story from Luji. On the other side, Sheng, while telling his roommate Jang about his morning meeting with Luji, says, "Meeting Luji reminded me of my childhood crush." He says, "In childhood, a girl used to save me from a bully, and I secretly liked her." To which Jang says, "The shine in your eyes is completely different when you talk about her. I hope you two get together." The next day, when Luji is standing outside the class talking to her brother, she is stunned when she sees Sheng going into her class. Luji forgets everything and starts looking at Sheng with loving eyes, who sits on the seat behind her. Just then, the wind starts blowing, and the pages of Luji's diary start fluttering around, and everything she had written for Sheng becomes visible. Luji quickly runs and closes the diary. Sheng looks at her. Luji also looks at him, and then they both say hello with their eyes. Sheng is very happy to see her in his class. Then the teacher comes into the class and after teaching, leaves. After he leaves, Jang comes into the class and is surprised to see Luji because he likes Luji. He is about to talk to Sheng about this when he accidentally spills coffee on Luji, which worries Sheng. And Jang starts saying sorry non-stop, and Sheng gives her a tissue. While cleaning her shirt, Luji says, "Noodle guy, I think you deliberately spilled the coffee so we could talk like in the dramas," which leaves Jang speechless. Luji is returning to the hostel and is happy that she and Sheng are now classmates. On the way, she meets Gavi, who asks, "Why do you look so happy?" When Luji doesn't say anything, Gavi blocks her path and starts bothering her. Then he tells Luji, "I have your notebook. There were some spelling mistakes, which I have corrected." Luji is shocked and asks, "How did you get the notebook?" Gavi comes close, shows his name, and says, "This looks cute, doesn't it?" Luji pushes him back and says, "I don't like boys like you who flirt with other girls while having a girlfriend," and leaves from there. On the other side, Jang directly asks Sheng, "Do you like Luji or not?" To which Sheng says, I have no intention of dating anyone. Jang says, I like Luji and want to impress her. Sheng says, of course it's your choice. The next day after class, Jang stops Luji and says, I want to treat you to ice cream as an apology. Luji is about to say something when Sheng leaves from there, which Luji watches with sadness. Jang notices all this. Luji refuses to take the treat, upon which Jang directly asks, do you also like Sheng? Luji is surprised. Then Jang tells her, the girl I previously liked also liked Sheng. Luji says, you are a good person for not breaking your friendship with Sheng over it, and then she goes to eat ice cream with him, where he tells her, assistant, Sheng's ex-girlfriend Hania only used him for show-off. Luji agrees. Yes, Hania's voice could be heard from afar when she loudly told everyone about her meetings with Sheng. Zhang asks Luji, what is it about Sheng that every girl becomes his fan? Just then, Sheng's good luck message arrives on Zhang's phone, which Luji also sees. She gets angry and says, you yourself were telling me to think about Sheng, but I don't understand what is going on between you two. And then she leaves from there in anger. Luji goes to her room and slams the door shut. Her roommate Limi, who works a part-time job, wakes up. Limi asks Luji, is everything okay? Luji says, I am fine. Meanwhile, Bali is crying, but no one notices her. Then Luji asks her, what happened? Bali tells her, Gavi is flirting with fresher girls. Luji says, leave a person like that. Bali says, yes, now I will really break up. On the other side, Sheng and Jang are playing baseball. Jang is angrily throwing the ball at Sheng. He says, every time you come in between, I can't make my move. He tells Sheng, tell me clearly what you want. Sheng says, I want to understand Luzi better because I only want true love, not a show-off. Zhang says, okay, if you start liking Luji, let me know. I don't want to get caught in a love triangle. Sheng says, yes, if I feel that Luji is different from everyone else, I will tell you the truth. Zhang tells him, Luji also saw that good luck message, which shocks Sheng. Over here, Luji is also worried because her crush is supporting someone else. Then in the next scene, when Luji is in a convenience store, someone is following her, who is none other than Gavi. Luji asks, why are you following me? Then Gavi immediately gives cookies into Luji's hand and says, please give these to Bali because they are her favorite, and I want to pacify her. Luji tells him, Bali doesn't like these cookies, and then starts to leave. Then Gavi says, I need your help, but Luji leaves without listening to him. Gavi comes out and grabs Luji's hand and says, I brought flowers for Bali. Please deliver them to her because she is not answering my calls. Luji says she doesn't want to talk to you because you always break her heart and flirt with other girls, after which Luji puts the flowers aside. Gavi gets angry and says, who are you to decide whether Bali accepts the flowers or not? Luji also says in anger, Bali is allergic to these flowers. You have been her boyfriend for a year. Don't you even know that much about what she likes and what she doesn't? At that moment, someone hits Gavi with a ball, and it is Sheng. Sheng comes closer and asks if everything is okay. Gavi says, this is my girlfriend's roommate. I was just talking to her for that reason, and then leaves. Then Sheng asks Luji, are you okay? Luji says, yes, I am fine. Sheng says, I saved you this time, so you should say thanks. Then Luji says, well, I'm leaving now, and leaves. But when she goes to the library, Sheng also follows her there. Luji says, are you following me? To which Sheng says, no, not at all. Then they both look at their books, and Sheng finds out Luji also likes mystery novels. They both start talking and realize that they have many similar things. Sheng says, isn't it strange we have known each other since school time but never became friends? Luji says, with regret, yes, we could never talk before. Sheng asks, why do you say that with sadness? Do you have regrets? Luji smiles and says, no, why would I have regrets? Then Sheng says, can we become close friends? I want to get to know you better. Luji remains shocked. Her heartbeat quickens. She makes an excuse and leaves. She is both nervous and happy. In the next scene, Luji is in her room. Bali is repeatedly asking about Gavi. Did he give Luji the flowers? Did Luji take them, etc.? Luji says, I don't think Gavi is serious about you. Bali says, this time I'm showing attitude, but still becomes sad. Just then, Xiao comes and says, flowers have arrived for you. Bali is shocked, thinking Gavi must have sent them. She brings Luji downstairs, sees the flowers, her favorite ones to which she is not allergic. She happily shouts to everyone, I've received the first flowers of my life, and everyone cheers for her. A flashback shows that Luji herself had ordered the flowers for Bali when she was sad. Gavi had not sent them. After this, when they both go to meet Gavi, Luji is about to sit separately, but Bali stops her. They both sit down. Gavi is happy to see Luji and starts flirting, saying, you are my girlfriend's best friend. It is my duty to care for you. Luji angrily scolds Gavi, boys like you never change, and leaves from there. Bali goes after Luji and asks, what happened? Luji says, your boyfriend is a very bad person. Bali says, maybe there was some misunderstanding. Just then, they both see a girl named Ruchi. Bali says, "She is strange. Everyone calls her crazy." Luji says, "She was my schoolmate." Ruchi sees them and says, "I need to talk to Luji. Let's go for dinner." Then, at dinner, Ruchi starts drinking and begins to reveal everything about Luji. "You were the teacher's favorite. You always topped. I know everything about you." And then she starts saying, "You also like Sheng, don't you? Just like I do." A flashback shows that Ruchi had said, "I love you," to Sheng during school time, but Sheng had refused. In the present, Ruchi says, "You are not worthy of Sheng." Luji also says in anger, "Who are you to say all this?" Just then, Bali arrives and tries to calm them both down. Then a flashback shows that Luji had thrown her diary, in which she had written about Sheng, in the dustbin. Ruchi had picked up that diary and read it all. Now she has become an enemy between Luji and Sheng, and will surely try to separate them. In the next scene, Luji has come to her relative's house. Miss Mo welcomes her. After this, they both talk, where Miss Mo says, "You both are very troublesome." Actually, Luji is going to teach her cousins, Coco and Jack. After this, Miss Mo says, "Can you take them to the amusement park?" Luji says, "Yes, I am free tomorrow." In the next scene, at the amusement park, both children are having fun with Luji. Just then, Sheng is also there with his friends, but they both do not see each other. Then, Luji takes her cousins to eat burgers, where she finally meets Sheng. Both are surprised, especially Sheng, who is very happy to see Luji. Luji says that she has come here with her cousins, and then he says that he has come with his roommates who are both with their girlfriends. So Luji started looking at all of them. Then Sheng says, "The one you are looking for, Jang, didn't come." Luji says, "No, I was looking at my cousins because they are also sitting with your roommates." Sheng first says to Luji, "Let's get something to eat." And then the scene changes where it is shown that all these people are sitting together. Sheng's friend asks, "Who is this girl?" So Sheng explains, "She is my schoolmate, and we met by coincidence." The two girls who are with them ask Sheng, "Where do you go in your free time? We need help with our studies. Can you explain some questions to us?" So Sheng says, "You tell those questions to your boyfriends. I will explain to them, and then they to you." Hearing this, both girls get annoyed. Actually, those two girls have become Sheng's roommates' girlfriends only so that they can befriend Sheng. Coco says, "I want to eat ice cream," so Luji goes to get ice cream. Those two girls also ask their boyfriends to bring ice cream, but Sheng understands their intentions. So he himself says, No, you two wait, I'll bring the ice cream," and leaves. In the next scene, when Luji is buying ice cream, Sheng also comes to her and says, "Can I join you? You, me, and your cousins can go on rides together? I don't feel like hanging out with my roommates. Besides, they forcibly brought me here because their girlfriends wanted to meet me." Luji agrees. Sheng becomes very happy and pays for the ice cream himself. Then Sheng's roommates' girlfriends are shown getting jealous. Sheng's roommate takes a photo of them. They send that photo to Jang. Jang, who is learning magic tricks, is shocked when he sees the photo and says, "Sheng was saying that he doesn't like Luji. But look now." On the other side, Sheng is having a race with Luji's cousins. Luji is pinching herself because she can't believe that she is at the amusement park with Sheng. The boy she used to be happy seeing from a distance has become her good friend. The four of them are deciding which rides to go on. A fight breaks out between Jack and Coco, upon which Luji consoles Coco and Sheng consoles Jack. Jack says, "She is not my real sister because our fathers are different." So Sheng says, "Then you should take even more care of her." Jack understands and says sorry to Coco. Luji and Sheng are happy to see them both happy. After this, someone had taken a random photo of them, which came out very well. Luji keeps that photo in her bag. Sheng says that he is going to get tickets for the roller coaster. Luji goes on another ride with her cousins, and she is happy looking at the photo again and again. On the other side, Jang is told, "A girl has come to see you." When he goes to see, it is Hanya, Sheng's ex-girlfriend. Actually, she wants to say sorry to Sheng and get back together, to which Jang shows her today's photo and says Sheng is dating this girl, which makes Hanya jealous. After this, Hanya goes to her best friend Rose and says Luji is getting close to Sheng. On the other side, Luji is thirsty, so Sheng takes out a bottle from his bag and gives it to her. Luji is a little nervous, but also feels happy that she is drinking water from her crush's bottle. Then, on the roller coaster ride, Luji puts Sheng's phone in her bag. When the ride starts, Luji gets scared and Sheng holds her hand. Luji is shocked, but also happy. After the ride, Luji keeps looking at her hand and remembers old moments. When Sheng touched her hand in childhood, gave her a toffee, and when he fell asleep in school, she supported him. Then everyone goes on a water ride and has fun. On the other side, Hania is worried. Rose says, "I used to like Luji's brother but never contacted him." Rose also wants to take revenge on Luji. In the next scene, Sheng brings ice cream for Luji and ties her shoelaces. Luji's heartbeat quickens. She thinks, "This is my best day." I never thought I would spend a whole day with my crush. Then they both talk. Shang asks, what subjects do you teach these kids? Luji says, English, math, and violin. Shang says, if my family allows, I also want to become a tutor for them. But then Shang's phone vibrates, which is in Luji's bag. Luji sees that Hanya's messages have arrived. It's locked, but Luji becomes sad. Shang looks at the phone, opens the messages. Hanya has written false things against Luji. Luji's meeting with you was not a coincidence, but a plan. Shang gets confused. Luji feels from his expression that something is wrong. Luji asks, you are going with us, right? Shang says, yes, but even sitting in the car, he is only looking at the messages. Luji feels bad that Shang suddenly changed. When Luji came to the dorm, before leaving, she thanks Shang, thank you for today, and as she says bye and starts to leave, Shang stops Luji and starts to say sorry, saying, because of my good luck message that day, there was a misunderstanding between you and Jang. And Jang has told me that he likes you, so I hope that you understand his feelings. Luji is shocked to hear Shang's words, so she says, he likes me, then why are you saying sorry? This means you don't need to be a matchmaker. And when she starts to leave, Shang stops Luji again and says, you are a very good girl, so I hope that we will always remain good friends. Luji's heart is completely broken after hearing this because it meant that Shang only considers her a friend. She says, I know I am a good girl, and then says, in her mind, despite being so good, don't I have the right to come into your life? Can I never become a special person for you? And leaves with sadness. Then, when she came to her room, Bali starts asking her, what happened? Why are you so sad? So Luji explains, today I saw a dream that I had never even thought of. Everything was very good, but when I opened my eyes, everything was the same as before. Bali doesn't understand at first, but when she finds out that Luji met Shang, where they both had a good time, Shang even held Luji's hand, but in the end, he changed. Bali says, I had heard that Shang is a good boy, but after hearing all this, it seems he is not that good. On the other side, Shang is playing baseball with Jang in a lot of anger. Jang says, don't take your anger out on me, and asks, now what will you do? Hanya has come back and says that she will not let any girl come near you. Shang says, if this situation were with you, what would you do? He says, I would not accept the girl who left me and went away. Shang says, I am confused. I don't want to make any wrong decision in a hurry. Zhang says, spend some time alone and try to understand everything. On the other side, Luji is crying because of Shang. Bali comforts her and tells her, Gavi has never told me to this day that he likes me, but we are still together. Gavi likes a girl who is an artist, and if she comes back into his life, Gavi will leave me. Still, she is ready to be with him. Here, Shang misses Luji while looking at a water bottle, but then he leaves it there and goes away. Then Ruchi comes and takes that bottle. After this, Luji thinks, whatever happens today, I have to tell Shang my feelings. So she gets ready and starts to go to Shang. On the other side, when Shang comes out of his dorm, he meets Hania, who says, sorry for breaking up in anger. Shang doesn't give her any reply, just listens. Here, when Luji comes to meet Shang, Zhang tells her, Shang has gone with Hania. Luji's heart breaks again. Seeing her sad, Jang offers her breakfast, but Luji leaves. After this, in class, Luji is sad. Then she sees Shang coming and giving her a sandwich, but that was just Luji's imagination. In reality, Zhang gives her the sandwich. Luji says thanks but is still thinking about Shang. After class, Zhang asks her to go with him. Luji says, I will stay here and study. On the other side, Hania, Rose, and Shang are sitting together. Hania shows him a photo of Luji's diary, in which it is written, Shang is my inspiration. Rose says, Luji was jealous of you. You are just an obsession for her. Shang thinks, is all this true? Then he scolds both girls. Taking a photo of someone's diary is a wrong thing to do. You were her classmates. You shouldn't have done all this. On the other side, Luji is still thinking about Shang. The next day too, she is looking at her mobile, thinking that Shang hasn't messaged yet. Bali gets angry. Why don't you talk directly? Luji says, I have been waiting for Shang for 15 years. I can wait a few more days. Meanwhile, Shang is also worried. Was Luji just making friends with me to defeat me? Then, during school time, Shang was motivating all the students. We all have to get good marks in the exams. Hanya, Rose, Luji, and even Ruchi were listening to his words carefully because they were all students of the same school. And this was the reason why Luji had written in her diary, Shang is my inspiration. After this, Bali and Luji are in the canteen when Luji stops looking at a table. Bali says, look, someone was eating with 3 chopsticks just like you. To this, Luji explains, it was Shang. I'm late again. If I had come a little earlier, I could have met Shang. And then she leaves from there. After waiting for many days, Luji decides that today she will message Shang because she hasn't spoken to him since the amusement park. She starts typing, I have spoken to Miss Mo about you, and she is ready for you to become the tutor for my cousins, that is Jack and Coco. She will also pay you double. After sending this message, Luji sits back peacefully, thinking that Shung will now talk on this pretext. Bali, who is watching her, starts laughing and says, "Even genius people look just like us normal people after falling in love." Then she took out cards and asked Luji to choose one. Luji chooses a card. Bali says, "This is a sign of bad luck. It means someone is going to spread rumors about you." Hearing this, Luji starts to think who would do such a thing. On the other side, Shung is preparing for a debate. The topic is selfless love versus selfish love. Shung speaks on selfish love and gets lost in his memories related to Luji and Hanya. He says, "Love is actually selfish. One only thinks about one's own feelings." Hania feels bad hearing all this but remains silent. Gavi's friend says, "It seems Sheng is taunting Hanaya," but Gavi says, "Focus on the competition, not on gossip." Then Sheng wins the debate, and when he comes out, his friends praise him. Hanya tries to get close to Sheng in front of everyone as if she is his girlfriend. After everyone leaves, Sheng moves away from Hanya and says, "I have to attend a lower-level class." To which Hanya says, "Luji will also be there. I don't think this is a good class for you, so don't go." Sheng replies, "You will not decide what I should and should not do. Leave me and focus on your life." Hearing this, Hania gets angry and leaves. On the other side, Luji is in class, and after class, Jang needs notes. So he says to Luji, "Will you show me your notes?" Luji laughs and says, "Yes, of course." Just then, Luji's mobile vibrates. She thinks Sheng's reply must have come. She takes out her mobile, and there is a message from Sheng. "No thanks. I don't want to be a tutor. I liked the kids, but I don't have time. I don't need the money." Seeing this rude reply, Luji's heart breaks, and she sits down quietly. Upon which Jang says, "What happened? Are you okay?" Luji says, "Sit straight and don't look back." And then she starts crying loudly. When Jang hears her crying voice, he feels bad. He messages Sheng, "What did you write that made Luji cry?" Luji keeps crying. Then after a while, Luji says to Jang, "Let's go eat ice cream. This time I'll get the big one." She is eating the ice cream angrily. Jang says, "Can I say something?" Luji says, "No." On the other side, Sheng reads Jang's message and sends a sorry message to Luji, to which Luji replies, "First you said sorry to me because Jang likes me. Now for what reason are you saying sorry? Your sorry is always strange." Sheng thinks, "I couldn't notice you then because I was busy with my studies." But then he remembers Hanya's words. Luji only considers you an obsession. He deletes the message. When he is about to leave, his eyes fall on the wall where he had written a question some time ago. It is Luji's written answer. He thinks, "Who wrote this?" In the next scene, Luji comes home and thinks, "What's the use of meeting in childhood when he will never understand me?" She remembers in a flashback the day when Sheng had helped an uncle, and seeing his good behavior, Luji started liking him even more. The next day, Bali and Luji are in the canteen. Bali says, "Today Gavi will have lunch with me," and then Luji leaves from there. When Bali waits, she finds out Gavi will not come. Then when Luji is in the library, Sheng sees her. He looks at Luji very attentively. Here, Luji writes something on the window and leaves from there, so Sheng quickly comes and reads it, where it is written, "We can like someone too much, but can never be with them, and only we know this fact." Sheng is surprised. Now he understands that Luji truly liked him. Then, sitting in the classroom, Luji is messaging Jang, "When will you come? I have saved a seat." Jang replies, "Just 1 minute." But just then, Sheng arrives and sits next to Luji. Luji is shocked. She thinks, "Why did he sit next to me? Shouldn't he stay away from me?" Then as soon as Jang arrives, he is also surprised to see Sheng with Luji. He asks, "Now where on earth should I sit?" Luji says, "It's okay, you take my seat." Sheng says, "Look behind. There is another empty seat where you can sit." Jang says, "Oh yes, I didn't even see that." And then he goes and sits there. Luji is feeling bad for Jang, which Sheng also noticed. Sheng asks, "Should I exchange seats with Jang?" Luji says, "No one's name is written on the seats. Whoever wants can sit there." Then the class starts. When Luji is telling Sheng where the teacher is going to continue from, once again there is a 0.6 centimeter gap between their fingers. During the class, Luji is bothered by the sunlight, which Sheng notices. Sheng sits back so that he can protect Luji from the sunlight. When Luji notices this, she becomes very happy. From a distance, Jang is also watching all of Sheng's actions and is happy. Well, this time Sheng is understanding his feelings. Then Sheng wants to talk to Luji, so he writes something and gives it to Luji. Luji also replies by writing. Here they are talking about movies. When Luji says, "My favorite movie is Only Yesterday," Sheng is surprised to read this. This is the same movie that the girl at the window suggested to me. Sheng thinks, "When I went to see that girl the next day, I found Hania near the window who said, 'Yes, I was here yesterday too.' But now I feel that maybe that day I was not talking to Hania, but to Luji, because her words match with the window girl's." On the other side, Gavi tells Bali, "Let's break up," because my crush is about to return. Hearing this, Bali is very hurt and starts begging him, "Don't leave me like this." On the other side, Luji's class has ended. When Luji goes to ask the teacher some questions, Jang comes to Sheng and says, "I know this time you are listening to your heart. Why don't we take Luji to lunch where you can talk to her comfortably?" When Luji comes, Jang says, "Sheng is giving a treat. Why don't you come with us too?" Sheng also says, "Yes, come with us. But if you don't want to come, you can refuse." Luji directly asks, "Are you giving this treat so that our friendship can be restored, or were you giving it to Jang? So you asked me too." Sheng says sorry and says, "I accept that I was so busy with the competition that I couldn't even reply to your messages. Please accept my apology. And don't take my words to heart. If you don't want to forgive me, it's okay." Upon which Luji thinks for a moment, then says, "Move aside so I can pack my things. Only then can I go with you." Sheng becomes very happy to hear this. When Luji is packing her things, behind her, Jang and Sheng both become happy and tease each other. Look, Luji agreed. In the next scene, it is shown how Bali is not leaving Gavi at all. She is walking everywhere holding his hand so that he doesn't leave her. On the way, they meet Luji, Sheng, and Jang. These three invite them too. But seeing Bali's behavior, Luji understands something must have happened. Therefore, she says to Sheng, "I will go with you some other time." Bali about something, and then she grabs Bali and takes her away. Gavi also needs to talk to Sheng about a meeting, so he takes Sheng away. Poor Jang is left alone, thinking everyone has left him. On the other side, Bali is eating heaps of ice cream to calm her anger. They both first talk normally about this and that. When Bali tells her, "Today Gavi left me, broke up," Luji is absolutely shocked. Well, now let's see, they are both coming back to the dorm. On the way, Bali stops Luji and asks her to tell her truthfully what she should do now. Luji says, "You should accept the breakup, meaning you should forget Gavi. That will be the right thing for you." Then Bali gets very angry and shouts loudly saying, "No, I will never give up on Gavi. He is my life and I consider him everything, meaning Gavi is only mine and no one can ever take care of him as much as I do." On the other side, at night, when Sheng returned to the room, Jang asked him several questions, wanting to know why they attended the class together and why Sheng had sat next to Luji. So finally, Sheng accepted. "Yes, maybe I have started to like Luji a little bit, so I want to get to know her well. First, I fell for Hania's words, but this time I want to listen to my heart. Then, whatever happens will be seen." Hearing this, Zhang starts to feel happy for Sheng. The next day, when Luzi was going to college, Jang and Sheng follow her from behind to sit with her. Then they sit with her in the class. Just then, Ruchi also enters that class for Sheng. Then Jang says, "I am also sure that Ruchi has joined this class only because of Sheng." Then, in class, the teacher calls Luji's name, and then, in the course of conversation, starts praising Luji a bit too much, saying, "You are beautiful as well as super intelligent. I have never seen such a beautiful and talented girl. You have made the assignments well." Then Jang and Sheng both started looking at the teacher in surprise. Jang says, "Is the teacher flirting with Luji?" To this, Luji says, "No, I am just so lovely that all teachers praise me." Upon which Sheng says, "There is no need to be too happy. This teacher praises everyone like this." After the class ends, Ruchi deliberately throws water on Sheng and then starts cleaning Sheng. The whole class was laughing at both of them because it was clear how Ruchi was bothering Sheng to get his attention. Then in the room, Luji was thinking about all of today's events. Why Sheng is behaving so differently now, meaning what is going on in his mind. At the same time, Sheng was also thinking about Luji, so he messaged and asked, "Are you still angry with me?" Luji doesn't give any reply, so Sheng thinks, she is not replying at all. Is she taking revenge on me? So what should I do now? Then he messaged Luji again. "Shall we go for lunch together tomorrow because I am free tomorrow?" Luji gets happy seeing the message and replies, "Yes." Then the next day, Luji gets ready nicely and happily goes to meet Sheng. Then Ruchi stopped her and told her, "I have kept an eye on Hanya, and I have found out that she is not keeping an eye on Sheng these days, but she is busy with other boys." Luji starts laughing at this. In the next scene, Luji is waiting for Sheng to arrive, and then when Sheng came, she started speaking while looking at him. "This is the same person who didn't even know me during school time, but today he has invited me for lunch." And then they both came to a restaurant where Sheng is shocked. "Do you also eat with 3 chopsticks? Whereas I thought that I am the only one who does this, who uses 3 chopsticks." Luji starts to remember, "Now how do I tell Sheng that ever since I saw Sheng eating with 3 chopsticks in school, I also started eating in the same way?" Well, these two talk a lot here, so when Luji was laughing heartily, Sheng just kept looking at Luji, meaning his gaze did not leave Luji. And then now he says, "You remind me of a girl I met in childhood," meaning I don't remember everything clearly, but I just know that that girl saved me from bullies who were beating me badly. Then we both started playing together and I said something to that girl, but I don't remember what it was. Luji is stunned to hear these words. This means Sheng still remembers me. Sheng further says, I don't know where that girl is or what her name was, but at that time I liked her very, very much, so much that I still remember her. Tears come to Luji's eyes hearing these things, so Sheng starts asking, "Why are you crying?" To which she said, "Because I found your story very cute." By the way, Luji doesn't reveal yet that she is that same childhood girl. After this, Sheng was in his room, happy after meeting Luji. Then he starts to remember, by the way, the childhood friend I told Luji about. I still go outside the church to find her in the hope that maybe I will find that girl there, but I haven't found her to this day. On the other side, Luji was also thinking about Sheng, but this time she's more worried about Bali because Bali has not yet returned to the dorm. Then she comes back late at night where Luji asks Bali, "What happened? Are you okay?" To which she said nothing, but started saying, "I just want to sleep early because tomorrow I also have to buy breakfast for Gavi and book a seat for him." Luji understood. Bali is not in a mentally stable condition at this time. On the other side, the girl Jang used to like again comes close to him for Sheng's sake. When they meet, Sheng also comes there. Jang angrily punches him and says, "Whichever girl I like, she comes close to me because of you." Just then, Luji also comes there and moves Jang away from Sheng, who leaves from there in a great rage. Here, Luji starts to clean the wound near Sheng's lips. Luji and Sheng are staring at each other, and then they get very close, upon which Luji gets scared and moves back. Then Sheng asks Luji if she has any class, and when Luji says she is free, Sheng takes her to his favorite place, the rooftop. There, Sheng feels relaxed and mentions a question he wrote on a wall, which someone had answered. Luji becomes quiet because she was the one who wrote the answer. Then Sheng shares an old memory where he had heard a girl singing a song, and now he sings that same song. Luji thinks in her mind Sheng had noticed every detail of that day. Then, that wall is also shown where it was written, "Luji likes Sheng." Luji immediately comes in front so that Sheng doesn't read this, and takes him away from there. After this, in the next scene, during class, Luji is getting bored, so Sheng takes her photo and messages. "Look, this girl's attention is not in class." Luji replies by taking a photo of Sheng and sending, "Today he didn't set his hair." Sheng immediately fixes his hairstyle and Luji laughs watching him. The next day, Luji and Sheng go together to tutor Jack and Coco. Sheng says, "Those two kids must be missing me." Luji sits behind Sheng on his cycle. When Luji gets nervous, Sheng says, "Hold my shirt, you will fall." This ride feels like a dream to Luji. Returning to the dorm, Sheng and Luji jokingly talk about Sheng losing in the games. Luji gives him a punishment to make a cat sound. When Sheng does so, Luji laughs uncontrollably. These two chase each other and are happily enjoying themselves when Hania sees them from a distance and gets jealous. The next day, Sheng messages Luji asking, "Will you go to my uncle's bar opening?" When Luji asks who else is going, Sheng says, "Just you and me," upon which Luji blushes. Then, to get ready to go, Bali prepares Luji and says, "Today is your first official date." Luji gets ready, and when she meets Sheng, he teases her. Sheng compliments her, "You look pretty." Sheng is about to say, "If you had worn the same sweatshirt, we would have looked like a couple," but he keeps quiet. Luji bursts out laughing, and these two enjoy their first date. Luji and Sheng are happy spending time with each other. On the way back, Luji is walking on cross bricks like in childhood. When Sheng asks the reason, Luji tells him about her mother. She used to do a delivery job and would get tired from walking, so she taught me this step game to forget the pain. Sheng says, "I wish I could be the second person to take away your pain." Luji is surprised to hear his words. Then Sheng gets a call. Hania is not well, so he apologizes to Luji and starts to leave. But Luji stops him and asks, "Should I also come along?" In the taxi, both are together, but Sheng remains quiet. Then, when they go to Hania's room, they are both shocked to see her condition because she has torn her clothes and is hurting herself. When Sheng tries to reason with her, Hania asks, "You still love me today, right?" Sheng does not answer. When she faints, Sheng picks her up and takes her to the hospital. In the hospital, Rose is very rude to Luji. Luji calmly explains that she had no enmity with anyone, she was just reserved. Sheng reveals, Hania was not like this before. Rose tells them, Hania had seen her mother commit suicide, the trauma of which she still has. Luji feels bad for Hania after hearing all this. Then, when Hania regains consciousness, Sheng explains to her that he cares for her but does not want a relationship again. He says, "When I am with Luji, I am my real self, which is why Luji is important in my life." Later, Sheng comes to Luji, but Luji says nothing to him. She is sad that perhaps she has lost Sheng again. When Sheng gives gloves to Luji, Luji's mother sees them both and is shocked because she knows Sheng's family. Then a flashback shows that Luji's mother had once requested something from Sheng's mother which she had refused, and Sheng's mother had thrown them out of the house. Because of this, Luji's mother is worried about their relationship. Luji accepts the gloves given by Sheng, which indicates that she is no longer angry with Sheng. After that, they both leave from there. In the next scene at Luji's house, as soon as her mom arrives, Luji gives her a surprise. "I came to see you, and I also made your favorite noodles." Luji's mom gets emotional and looks at her daughter with love. Then she reminds her that when Luji's father died, she took her to a church wedding. Luji says in her heart, "How can I forget, because that was the day I first met Sheng." After that, the next day, Luji is in the library where Sheng comes and starts studying with her. But his attention is not on studying, but only on Luji. He keeps peeking at her secretly. Luji scolds him, "Don't look at me, focus on your study." But Sheng laughs it off. Then there is a cafeteria scene where Luji, Sheng, and Bali are having lunch. When Hania arrives there and sits next to Sheng, Luji is shocked. Hania talks about a capital investment competition in which Sheng will participate. Luji and Sheng both already know about this competition, which Hania does not like at all. After this, Sheng directly asks Luji, "If I participate in this, will you support me?" Luji laughs and says, "Always." In the next scene, Sheng, Luji, and his roommates are discussing the project. Sheng explains his project idea, a child loss prevention app, which will include GPS, CCTV cameras, and tracker bracelets. Luji remembers, "When I was lost, Sheng had mentioned this idea." Luji also gives some strong suggestions that make their app even better. Everyone applauds Luji's genius idea. Sheng himself is happy to praise her. The scene shifts to when Luji and Sheng go to the park for app testing. Luji walks a little far, and due to a GPS issue, Sheng cannot track her. When he finds Luji, he looks at her with loving eyes. They both sit in a peaceful place where leaves are falling like rain. Sheng places a leaf on Luji's face and says, "You look very cute." Luji also laughs with joy. It seems as if all her dreams are coming true. Then Sheng casually says, "When the tracker bracelet is made, I will give it to you first." Hearing this, Luji starts to smile with happiness. Then she asks him, "And what about the girl you met outside the church in childhood?" Sheng thinks for a moment and says, "I will give the second bracelet to her." When Sheng holds Luji's hand while talking about this, Luji suddenly blurts out, "I am that girl you have been searching for all these years." Hearing this, Sheng is completely stunned, holds her face and says, "That's why you always seemed so familiar to me. We finally met." But then we find out that all this is just an imagination in Luji's mind. She hasn't actually told Sheng anything. In the next scene, Luji comes to the office and sees that everyone has fallen asleep there while working. Sheng is still working in a separate room. When Luji looks at Sheng's notebook, she sees the same leaf in it that they had held together in the park. Luji is surprised to see it and is also happy from the heart. When Sheng sees that leaf in Luji's hand, he immediately comes out. But by then, Luji has already put the leaf back. Then she casually starts talking about the project. But the silence and mutual understanding between them are clearly visible. In the next scene, when everyone is busy in the office, Sheng has worked all night and is very tired. Luji explains to him, "You rest, I am here. We will handle everything." Sheng agrees and goes to rest. When he is sleeping, Luji sees that he hasn't taken the blanket properly. She slowly goes to him and starts to fix his blanket. But in the process, an accidental kiss is about to happen between them, which doesn't happen. Luji is surprised and steps back, but Hania has seen all this. Hania angrily calls Luji outside. There, she directly questions her. "You didn't even talk to me during school time, nor did you have anything to do with Sheng. So now that Sheng and I have broken up, why has your interest suddenly increased?" Luji calmly replies, "I don't find it necessary to give you answers about my personal life, and we are not friends that I should give you any clarification." Saying this, Luji leaves from there. Later, when everyone finds out that the app's information has been leaked, Luji immediately tells Sheng. Sheng is surprised. "How did this happen?" Luji tells him, "Don't worry, a solution will be found. For now, you rest." Sheng agrees to her words and goes to sleep. When everyone meets later and it is revealed that Lindsay had accidentally leaked the information, everyone gets angry, but Luji is at the forefront of handling the situation. She is the one who helps in finding a solution. When Jang pretends that they have the legal rights to the project, he does so based on Luji's idea. Sheng hears all this and says, "Luji is truly a genius." Hania does not like hearing this at all. A conflict starts in Sheng's mind. He doesn't want to earn money from the app, he just wants to help people. When he tells everyone, "I want to launch the app for free," everyone gets angry at him, but Luji once again supports him. This project is Sheng's, so the decision will also be his. At the end of the scene, everyone leaves, and only Luji and Sheng are left. Sheng says to Luji, "You should go too, I want to be alone." Luji agrees and leaves from there. Sheng is left alone to think about everything. After this, Luji tells Bali about her kissing moment, which makes her very excited. After this, Luji goes to the office again to see Sheng and sees that Sheng is drunk. She supports him and brings him to the office rooftop where Sheng shares his heart with Luji. He tells her everything about his family's pressure, expectations, and his real intentions. Luji fully supports him, explains to him, and says, if your real dream was to help people, then your path is absolutely right. Luji's words give Sheng the courage that he did not have at that time. In the next scene, it is shown that the competition day has arrived. All the team members have arrived there except for Luji and Sheng, who are both stuck in traffic. Then Luji and Sheng decide to get out of the car and go. But while running on the road, Luji gets injured in the traffic, and Sheng starts to carry her on his shoulder. Luji stops him and says, you should leave me and go because the competition is very important for both of us. For the first time, Sheng understood the importance of someone other than himself. He agrees to Luji's words, but the expression on his face as he leaves her says it all. After the competition, when everyone is disappointed because they have lost, Sheng learns how much Luji had spoken for everyone, and he runs straight to meet her. When he comes in front of Luji, there is a softness and gratitude in his eyes. He thanks Luji, and then softly asks, can we go on a trip together again? And yes, this time wear the same sweatshirt you wore the first time. Luji blushes and says, yes. The next day, Luji and Sheng go on a trip. They are both wearing matching sweatshirts. When the rickshaw driver mistakes them for a couple, Sheng says without hesitation, yes, we are a couple. Luji smiles slightly. When she is clicking photos, she is taking more pictures of Sheng. In her heart, this thought is running. I never thought there would be such beautiful moments in my life, that too with Sheng. Maybe I couldn't say it at that time, but now I understand that the connection between us can never be with anyone else. After this, Luji recites a lovely poem to Sheng, and then smilingly asks, by the way, did you hear any of my poems during school time? Because at that time, she always got the first prize, and the poems she wrote were circulated in the class. Sheng remembers, yes, sometimes poems did come to me, but I never read them properly because I didn't like poems much. When Luji finds this out, her heart breaks a little because she used to write those very poems thinking of Sheng. Sheng immediately apologizes and says, next time, whatever you write, I will read it with all my heart. Then these two are going back in a rickshaw. The rickshaw uncle asks them the meaning of their names. Sheng explains, my name means river, and Luji's means orange tree, which always grows near the river. The uncle recites a poem based on their names, which is exactly the one that is on Luji's wallpaper. The uncle jokingly says, you two should get married. Sheng is left surprised and asks Luji, did you know our names together form a poem? Luji lies and says, no, but inwardly says, this was my favorite childhood poem. Later, they both go skating. Where Luji has a problem putting on her shoes, Sheng helps her. Luji becomes happy. Then, while skating, Sheng holds Luji's hand. They both keep looking at each other, and then suddenly Luji's foot twists and she gets hurt. Sheng gets very worried. He applies medicine to Luji's foot and softly asks, whenever I see you, why do you seem lost? Luji says, no, it's nothing like that, but thinks to herself, I am afraid that these moments might also end like after the adventure park when Sheng stopped talking to me. Then Sheng casually says, I don't like people who lie. That's why I like you. You are completely pure. But Luji remembers that she has told some lies, like the habit of 3 chopsticks, or liking the same writers that Sheng likes. She did all this just to impress Sheng. Now she is afraid that the truth might come out, otherwise Sheng might start hating her. Then on the way back, when Sheng comes to drop Luji at the dorm, he gifts Luji some heavy books. Luji is surprised. You were carrying all these books around for so long? Sheng smilingly says, yes, because I wanted to give these to you today. Luji gets emotional and says, I really liked these gifts. Sheng's face lights up. But Ruchi, watching all this from above, gets jealous. On the other side, Hanya has found out something about Luji, which she is telling Rose. The relations between Luji's mom and Sheng's mom are not good. Then Hanya asks, do you remember that once we found out a fire had broken out in Sheng's father's factory in which a man had died? Rose says, yes, I had read about this. Then Hanya reveals, that worker was Luji's father who died by burning in that factory. Rose is shocked. Is that so? Poor Luji. She must have seen such bad times. Then Hania says, no, she is not poor. Now she is after Sheng so that she can take revenge for her dad's death from Sheng. Rose says, I don't think so, that Luji is that type of person. After this, Hania urgently calls Sheng to meet, to tell him this so that Sheng and Luji can be separated. where she gives him a file and says, "Inside this is Luji's family data and how her father died." After reading it, he is shocked that her father's death happened in Shang's father's factory. And on the other side, Bali is happy to see Luji coming from a date with Shang. So she says, "Come, I will read a card for you." And then she asked Luji to choose a card. Luji chooses a card. When Bali reads it, she is left surprised. Luji starts asking what is written in it, but Bali doesn't tell her anything. But then, upon Luji's strong insistence, she tells her, "It is written in the card that your love life is going to be ruined once again. This is a bad love luck sign." Hearing this, Luji starts to get sad. Now I don't know what is going to happen. In the next scene, after class, Luji messages Shang, "Will you go with me to Jack and Coco's house?" But Shang's reply comes, "No, I have other plans." Here, Shang has come to meet his mom. He has come to ask his mom about Luji, but before going inside, Hanya's words are repeatedly revolving in his mind. When he finally asks his mom about the factory incident, she tells him, yes, a worker in the factory had started new machines without checking, which caused an explosion and his death. Because of this, my husband had to suffer a huge loss. When Shang asks what happened to the worker's family, his mom tells him his wife had come with her young daughter to ask for compensation, but I gave nothing. Instead, I threw that woman out of the house. Hearing all this, Shang's heart breaks. He says, "Mom, you didn't even do anything for that little girl?" But his mom only considers her own loss a big deal. At that moment, Shang realizes how much Luji has suffered since childhood. And when his mom goes inside to get fruits and comes back, she sees that Shang has left without saying anything. On the other side, at night, Luji is in her room. She waits for Shang's reply. He has read the messages but doesn't reply. Luji understands. Shang is deliberately ignoring me. The next day, Shang is shown playing baseball where he is releasing his frustration. It's repeatedly coming to his mind. Did Luji really come close to me only for revenge? He's getting more and more confused. At that time, Luji is searching for Shang in the canteen, on the rooftop, and everywhere. She thinks that he might be found somewhere. Then she asks Jang in the canteen where Shang is, to which Jang tells her he is unwell, so he is resting in his room. At this, Luji gets worried and says, "Does he really have a fever?" Then she sets out to get soup and healthy food. On the other side, Shang is walking with his face hidden so that Luji doesn't meet him. When Luji is going towards Shang's dorm with the soup, her foot twists and she falls. At that time, Shang is there, but doesn't move forward. He remembers his mother's words, "I hate Luji," and her mother. He thinks, if I stay close to Luji, she will suffer a lot in the future. Even after falling, Luji musters the courage to get up and buy soup again. Shang is watching all this secretly. He sees that Luji can't even walk properly but is still bringing soup for him. When Luji brings the soup to Shang's dorm again, the guard uncle calls his roommate because Shang is not in the room. Luji says, "Please don't tell Shang that I gave this," and leaves from there. When Shang comes back, he takes the soup, but just keeps looking at it, doesn't drink it. His friend says, "When she has brought the soup with so much love, drink it. Luji is a good girl. It shows in her eyes how much she loves you." Shang says nothing, but he is feeling guilty inside. Then finally, he drinks the soup, but with tears. After this, Shang sees Luji and Jang in class, but doesn't go to them. He goes and sits with Ruchi, upon which Luji becomes sad. Then when Ruchi drops her pen in excitement, after class, Shang doesn't come to Luji and Jang. Then Luji says, "I have to talk to Shang myself." But when she goes outside, she sees that Hania and Shang are going together. Seeing this, Luji's heart breaks. Going to the rooftop, Luji starts sending messages to Shang. "Why are you ignoring me? At least tell me my mistake. I can't bear your silence." But there is no reply from Shang, which makes Luji feel very bad and she cries. Then, in the meantime, she gets a message from Gavi who is calling her. "Let's have a discussion." At first, Luji doesn't want to go, but she remembers that Shang might be there too, so she goes. Arriving there, she sees that indeed Shang and Hania are both there. Hania does not like Luji's arrival at all. Gavi asks Luji for advice for event ideas, and Shang also likes Luji's ideas a lot. Seeing this, Hania gets even more irritated and starts taunting Luji. Gavi notices Hania's rude behavior and gently sends Luji away from there. Luji leaves. Hania starts asking Shang to go for coffee, but Shang refuses and also leaves from there, which makes Hania angry. In the next scene, it is raining, and Bali's papers fall. Luji helps her. Just then, Bali gets a message from Gavi to meet, and she happily goes there. As soon as Bali leaves, Luji gets a message from Shang. "If you are outside, I can come to pick you up." Luji gets happy and lies. "I am at the cafe. You come?" She runs to the cafe so that Shang can pick her up. In the meantime, we see that it was not Gavi, but Chan, who had sent the message to Bali from Gavi's phone, just so that Bali would see them both together and get jealous. When Bali understands this, she sadly leaves from there. On the other side, outside the cafe, Luji is waiting for Sheng. Sheng comes but says, "I didn't have an extra umbrella, so I brought a raincoat for you." Luji's mood gets spoiled because she recognizes the raincoat. It is Hanya's raincoat. Still, she takes the raincoat and says, "I don't like the color, but I'm still taking it." As soon as Sheng leaves, Luji walks away, getting drenched in the rain without wearing the raincoat. In her heart, she says, "What mistake have I made that Sheng is hurting me so much? Maybe he found out about my lies, or Hania told him the secrets of my diary." Sheng sees Luji walking away drenched from a distance and understands Hania was wrong. He feels a lot of regret. He also walks away getting drenched in the rain. In the next scene, Luji goes to the rooftop and starts erasing the line she had written. "I love Sheng very much," but the line is not erasing, and Luji cries even more bitterly. Now her love is starting to turn into hatred. Sheng also returns to his room sadly. Jang asks him what happened, but Sheng just keeps crying. He regrets that he made a mistake by behaving like that with Luji. Bali and Luji both come back to the dorm and are sitting sadly. They share stories about their day. Bali says, "Maybe this year is just bad for both of us." Then Limi and Xiao, their roommates, come with a lot of food and say, "Let's have a party." For a little while, amidst friendship and jokes, everyone feels a little light. Sheng's friends have also brought a cake for him to better his mood. He asks whose birthday it is, so they say, "No one's, we just brought it to make you feel happy." Then Jang asks Luji, "Will you take the dogs for a walk in the park?" Luji agrees. These two spend time with the dogs where Luji is happy. Jang tries to be funny and makes Luji laugh. Later, Jang takes Luji to his second part-time job location, where he deliberately makes her face Sheng. Luji sees Sheng and immediately makes an excuse and leaves, because now she did not want to meet Sheng. Sheng also does not stop Luji, just remains silent. In the next scene, Luji is sitting by herself outside when she gets a message from Rose, a very angry one. Rose had written, "Why don't you answer my messages? You are so rude and arrogant." Reading this reminds Luji of a scene from school when Rose had come to her and asked, "Why didn't you come to Hania's house yesterday? Hania had invited all the classmates, only you didn't come. Everyone was calling you arrogant." Luji had only said this. "Would you like to read novels with me?" Rose had refused. So Luji had explained to her, "Just as you don't like novels, I don't like games either. I am happy in my studies." Coming back from the flashback to the present, Luji goes to meet her brother Yang and his fiancée Suzy. It seems that Luji thinks Suzy is the best choice for Yang. Then, when Luji is taking a picture of the two of them, she sees Rose, who is watching the three of them from a distance. Suzy also sees Rose. A little later, Luji and Rose come face to face. Luji tells her, "You should focus on your painting, not on my brother." But Rose threatens her. "I have the secrets of your diary, and if you try to be too smart, I will tell everything to Sheng." Hearing this, Luji gets worried. Suzy is also in the washroom and she asks Luji, "Do you know this girl?" Luji tells her, "Yes, she was my classmate in school, but don't worry, I will fix everything." On the other side, Sheng is recording a birthday dance video with his friends. Everyone is in funny costumes. Then Sheng comes alone to pick up a parcel. That parcel is his high school photo album, which also has photos of Luji. Sheng smiles seeing those photos and says, "I wish I had noticed you at that time. Maybe if we had become friends then, everything would be different today." There, Luji goes home and thinks about Rose. Then she sends a message to Rose, "You can tell my secrets to whomever you want. I don't care. Just stay away from my brother's life." The scene shifts and Hania and Rose are both sitting and talking about Luji and Sheng. Hania is just saying, "I will never let Luji and Sheng meet." Then Rose tries to explain to her, "You are not the same friendly Hania as before. You also lied about the locket." Still, Sheng trusted Luji. Rose says, "You should forget him." In the next scene, Luji goes to meet Gavi, but when Gavi is not there, she gives a girl a USB which has the show's script. As soon as Luji leaves, Hania comes and secretly takes that USB and says, "I will give it to Gavi." In the next scene, Luji meets Jang in the canteen. Zhang Ming tells her, "Will you come to watch my basketball match?" At first, Luji refuses, but when Zhang says, "Sheng will not be there," Luji agrees. In the court, Luji is happy watching Zhang's match, but she remembers a flashback when she first saw Sheng playing, and a ball hit her. Then Sheng comes to her and asks, "Are you okay?" But at that time, Luji gets very nervous and can't say anything. She just runs away. Coming back to the present, Luji is about to get hit by the ball again, but Zhang saves her. Luji tells him, "You are playing very well." When Luji asks about his girlfriend Lindsay, Zhang becomes sad. He says, "I have made her my girlfriend." but she never gives me importance. Whenever I go shopping with her, she is just busy on her phone. I feel like she doesn't love me. On the other side, Shang has put Luji's high school photo in his wallet. He says to his heart, I think you just liked me for revenge. I wish there were no problems between our families. Then you would have loved me from your heart. I want you to like me from your heart. This means Shang thinks that Luji's love was fake, and she only came close to him to take revenge. Zhang Ming gave her an idea for a one-day job, which is to become a tourist guide. Zhang himself was not that good in English, but Luji was an expert. Luji hesitated a little at first, but then agreed. The next day, Luji guides the tourists, where she looks very passionate and graceful. But when the tour is about to end, Luji stands in one place and starts thinking about something. She remembers a flashback where once her mother had taken her to buy a necklace as a birthday gift. Her mother had told her that there was a discount on it, so she should get it. But Luji had refused to take that necklace because the same necklace was given to Hania by Sheng. Hania had also shown this to Luji. Sadness clouds Luji's face. At this time, Sheng is passing by and sees Luji so sad. He stops but does not come closer. In the next scene, Luji is sitting sadly. She thinks that Sheng has always only hurt her. At this moment, Sheng comes there and gives her an umbrella, saying, "It is going to rain." Luji angrily starts saying, "Why are you following me?" Sheng says nothing. He asks why Luji has worn such a formal dress, to which Luji explains that it's for a part-time job, because I am a poor girl who also has to do a job for her expenses. Then she stands up in anger and starts saying, "I should never even talk to a boy like you." And when she starts to leave, Sheng stops her and directly asks, "Do you like me?" Hearing this, Luji stops. Tears come to her eyes. Sheng tells her, "Hania and Rose had shown me photos of your diary where you had written that you wanted to take revenge on me. Was all this true?" Luji laughs and says, "This question of yours has no meaning at all." But Sheng says, "Then just tell me why you like me. And do you really?" Luji remembers the scene from childhood when they had acted out a wedding in a game, which is why Luji had started to like Sheng. But Luji doesn't tell all this in the present. She only says, "You are Sheng. That's why I like you." Sheng gets confused. He says, "So that means Hania's words were true?" Luji shouts, "If you think I am really bad, then why are you standing in front of me?" Sheng also shouts, "Because I was starting to think of you as my soulmate." He explains that Luji has always supported him, but now he is confused. Luji says, "If I am that bad, then leave my life forever." After that, Luji cries very badly and leaves from there. Sheng remains in shock. For the first time, he has seen Luji so broken and emotional. Luji goes straight to the hair salon and gets her long hair cut to become a new version, the same old Luji, who only loved her books. Drenched in the rain, she runs on the roads, and in flashbacks, she remembers her love, her efforts, changing everything for Sheng, but he still thinks her feelings are fake. While running, she falls and faints. On the other side, Sheng is also sitting in sadness, drenched in the rain. His mother comes and asks what has happened, but Sheng just remains silent. Here, Jang and Bali are looking for Luji. When they both see her lying unconscious on the road, they immediately take her to the hospital. The next day, Luji's eyes open. Bali asks what had happened. Luji tells her, "My confession was not a romantic moment. It was torture. He thought my feelings were fake." Jang also hears all this. After that, Miss Mo, Jack, and Coco come to see Luji. Miss Mo says to Luji, "Do you remember that 15-year-old incident when you told me about your crush?" Luji starts crying and says, "Now my 15-year-old crush is over." Then Miss Mo hugs her and consoles her. On the other side, Sheng is also going to his house when a car stops in front of him, and Miss Mo gets out of it. Sheng is shocked to see her after so many years. Miss Mo tells him, "Jack and Coco are your cousins." Sheng is even more shocked. Miss Mo tells him, "Luji is our children's tutor." Miss Mo asks, "Sheng, do you like Luji?" Sheng says, "She never hurt me. She always supported me." Miss Mo explains, "Then you should understand her feelings. You shouldn't make your decision based on what others say." After this, Sheng goes to his house. At the dinner table, his mother directly asks him, "Do you love Luji?" Sheng says nothing, but clearly gets emotional. Just then, Gavi's phone call comes, who reports an emergency at the university. Sheng gets up and leaves, but says as he is leaving, "I don't want interference in my love life." His mother slams her hand on the table in anger, because she hates Luji. Then, when Sheng comes to Gavi, Gavi tells him that a big problem has occurred. The USB with the script is missing. The girl to whom Luji had given the USB says, "Luji did give it to me, but later Hania took it, and now she is not contactable." Then Gavi called Luji, but she was not picking up the call. Then, when Gavi called Bali, he found out Luji is admitted to the hospital. Hearing this, Sheng is stunned, and he immediately runs to Luji. On the other side, in the hospital, Jang is taking care of Luji. When he goes to get something, Luji talks to her mom on the call but doesn't tell her that she's in the hospital. Her mom emotionally says, "I miss you a lot and want you to come home for a few days because your father's death anniversary is also approaching," which makes Luji sad too. When Jang returns, he sees Luji crying, and to cheer her up, he feeds her fruit with his own hands. When Luji is discharged from the hospital, Jang is taking her, but then Sheng and Gavi arrive in a car. Luji sees Sheng and angrily asks Jang, "Did you tell Sheng?" Then Sheng requested Luji a lot to go with him in the car, but Luji refused. When Luji does not agree, Sheng forcibly picks her up and puts her in the car. On the way, Luji was not talking to anyone. So Sheng turned on the music and Luji angrily said, "Turn off this nonsense song," which made Sheng turn off his favorite song. Then when Sheng and Luji are left alone, Sheng comes to her and asks why she cut her hair. Luji rudely replies, "It's none of your business." Sheng only asked if she was okay, to which Luji said, "There's no need to worry about me." When they're going for the 10 activity, Luji returns Sheng's raincoat, the same one that was Hanya's. Luji takes it and says in a cold tone, "I have cleaned it well too." Sheng is stunned for a moment because he remembers that Luji didn't even wear the raincoat, yet she washed it without saying anything. Sheng goes after her, stops and says sorry to her, but Luji is not emotional at all. Instead, she replies in a cold and dangerous tone, "You find it very easy to apologize, but I am not one of those people who forgive everything." Sheng feels the coldness hidden in her words, but is unable to say anything. In the tent, everyone is busy with work, but Sheng's eyes are repeatedly on Luji. He is continuously watching her. Luji finally gets annoyed and says, "Work, or I will kick you out of the tent." Sheng says with a slight smile, "I was just resting a little." A little later, Luji starts to feel cold. Without asking anything, Sheng takes a blanket out of his bag and forcibly covers Luji with it. Luji says nothing, but a little softness appears in her eyes, a softness that she herself refuses to feel. At night, everyone completes their work and goes to sleep. So Sheng once again goes after Luji. Today, he doesn't want to say anything else. Just one thing. "I want us to just become good friends again." Luji's tone is still cold. She looks into his eyes and says, "Now that's not possible. You can think whatever you want. I don't care." This time, Sheng can't say anything. He just remains silent, sad. The next morning, Luji has stayed up all night to complete the accounting files. When everyone is leaving, Sheng stops, turns around, and says bye to Luji. For the first time, Luji's tone is a little soft. She also says bye to him. When Sheng is walking alone, he stops and thinks, "Luji, you used to secretly watch me when I didn't notice you. And today I am secretly watching you when you are ignoring me. I have made very big mistakes, but I will fix everything. I will make you mine again, Luji, no matter what I have to do." And then the next day is the show day where a long line is formed outside, but Luji and Bali have VIP tickets, so they both go straight inside. They get the front row seats. Luji is a little nervous, but feels a little relaxed because of Bali. On the other side, Sheng and Hania are seen where Sheng tells everyone. Mr. Mo found out that the interview script Hania had submitted was not written by her. Then Mr. Mo had asked her some questions and Hania couldn't answer, which is why Mr. Mo is refusing to come on the show. Hearing this, Gavi gets very worried because this is his first organized show. At this moment, an idea comes to Sheng's mind to get help from Luji. He tells Gavi, Luji is a big fan of Mr. Mo. If she goes on stage, Mr. Mo might agree. Gavi loves the idea, but Hania refuses. She thinks, I don't want Luji to take my place. Then, Yongle silences Hania. Meanwhile, Chan is performing on stage, whom everyone is liking. Bali is impressed and says, Chan is very beautiful and talented. If I were a boy, I would have liked her too. Then, Luji laughs and says, if I were a boy, I would choose you. You are the sweetest, most innocent, and most beautiful. You'll see. One day, Gavi will regret it. Then suddenly Gavi comes there and asks Luji for help. Luji goes with him without saying anything. Sheng has already spoken to Mr. Mo, and the plan to bring Luji on stage is ready. But Hania stops Luji. Everyone thinks she will fight, but she does Luji's makeup saying, I am only doing this for the university's honor. Luji comes on stage after makeup. Everyone is surprised by her new look. Hania had brought a special dress for both of them, one for Luji and one for Sheng. Both change their dresses and come, and the interview with Mr. Mo starts on stage. Luji answers confidently. Her answers are so mature and impressive that Mr. Mo becomes happy. Sheng just keeps looking at her, and there is admiration in his eyes. After the interview, everyone claps. Luji, Sheng, and Gavi are all happy. Back in the room, Luji's friends praise her. On the other side, Hania is sad. She feels her right has been taken away. Back at the party scene, Sheng and Jang are talking about Lucy. Sheng says, she hasn't forgiven me, yet she stood on stage with me. What a good girl she is. Then Bali tells Lucy that their interview is trending on social media. Everyone is saying Lucy and Sheng should start dating. Lucy coolly says, the public says one thing today, something else tomorrow. And yes, don't delete the photos. Send them to me. After class, when Lucy is leaving, Sheng and Jang ask her to go to the cafeteria, but Lucy refuses, saying, I have to prepare for exams. In the next scene, after the exam, Lucy is waiting for a taxi with her bag to go home. While sitting in the taxi, she thinks about Sheng. Should I forgive him? As soon as she reaches home, her mom meets her, and they both get emotional. The next day, Lucy goes with her mom to her father's grave, where her mom talks emotionally, and tears come to Lucy's eyes. On the other side, Sheng also reaches Lucy's hometown to find her. He searches for Lucy everywhere, but doesn't succeed because he doesn't have Lucy's exact address, but he says, no matter how long it takes, I will find Lucy. Then he goes to his high school to get some information, and meets Hania there. She is also from this city. Hania is happy to see him at first, but when Sheng tells her, I am here only for Lucy, Hania's face becomes sad. Then she says, I need to talk to you about something important. They both go to a cafe where Hania starts explaining. The enmity between your mother and Lucy's family will never make your relationship easy. You should think about your mother first. Sheng listens to everything quietly, but then says, this is my matter. I will handle it myself. You stop worrying about me. At this, Hania becomes silent. On the other side, Lucy is going back home with her mom. Her mom lovingly says, if you ever fall in love with someone, you must tell me. Don't hide anything from me. Lucy thinks for a moment whether she should tell her mom about Sheng, but she doesn't because she herself is still unsure if Sheng is really serious about her. Then when her mom goes to her job, Lucy wanders around the school and goes to the place where she had first mentioned Sheng. There she gets lost in old memories, how she first saw Sheng, how she used to secretly watch him. Just then she meets Rose, who is now a painting teacher at that school. While walking, they both talk about Yang. Rose is unable to let go of Yang, but Lucy explains to her that Susie is now in Yang's life. Rose asks a question. If you were in my place, would you also forget Sheng? Lucy says nothing, just remains silent. Then we see Lucy returning home at night and watching the children play. Suddenly she sees a balloon in the sky, and then Sheng is standing in front of her. Lucy is astonished. She asks him, what are you doing here? Did you come for me? Sheng says, of course I came only for you. He asks why she was not answering his calls and messages. Lucy explains, my mobile was in the repair shop. When Lucy gets her mobile from the shop, she sees that Sheng has indeed sent her many messages and calls. Her heart begins to melt. Then they talk during dinner. Sheng says that he went to the school too. Lucy is surprised and says, I went too. But then Sheng says that he went with Hania. This doesn't sit well with Lucy. When she asks, where did you both go? Sheng doesn't say anything. Lucy gets angry and gets up and leaves from there. At night, Lucy's aunt says, a boy has been standing downstairs for a long time, perhaps waiting for someone. Lucy understands that it is Sheng. She looks from the window and indeed it is Sheng. She messages him saying, it's very cold, go away, but Sheng doesn't leave. He wants to win Lucy's heart through his efforts. Lucy closes the window, but after some time she quietly brings soup for him and silently places it near the window and leaves. Sheng sees that it was Lucy and his heart fills up. He holds the soup in his hands and thinks, she still loves me. The next morning when Lucy is going back to university, Sheng is waiting for her. He says good morning to Lucy and says, let's go together. Lucy can't refuse. When they are both in the taxi, Lucy's mom sees them together. For the first time, there is a small smile on her face. In the taxi, Sheng gives her a pancake, which is Lucy's favorite. She jokingly says, everything tastes good when you're hungry. Then they listen to music, and Sheng acts as if he has fallen asleep. Lucy quietly starts taking his selfies, but he is happy inside that Lucy is getting closer to him. After university, when Lucy is about to leave, Sheng stops her and says, I want you to accept my apology. Lucy asks him a direct question. If I did to you everything that you did to me, would you forgive me? Sheng can't answer. Lucy says, I used to think I could make you mine, but now I feel we have no future. But then, Sheng takes her to the rooftop where he finally confesses everything, that he liked Lucy from the beginning, but he misunderstood and thought Hania was the girl at the window. Hearing this, Lucy reveals, yes, I was that girl. Their pasts start to connect again. Sheng is about to say, if I had known earlier, only you would have been in my life. But just then his phone rings. It's a message from Hania. The color drains from Lucy's face. She says angrily, you two are still in contact? and without hearing anything, she leaves from there. And Shung becomes sad. His plan was to also ask Luji, "Are you rejecting me because of my family?" But now he can't say anything. Luji's bag is left there, and Shung decides that he will bring her bag himself. After this, Shung comes outside the girls' dorm with Luji's luggage. He calls Luji to come down and get her things, but Luji refuses to come down, saying, "You can give the bag to the security guard and leave." But Shung doesn't want to agree. Just then Bali comes there. Shung gets nervous seeing her because last time Bali had said a lot to him, so he quietly gives Luji's bag to Bali and leaves from there. On the other hand, Yongle is expelled from the university for stealing Sheng's project, but then, on the request of Sheng and his friends, he is only given a punishment. In the next scene, at night, Luji is at home and she gets a message from Sheng on her phone. She goes downstairs and Sheng tells her, "I feel bad for Yongle, and I think we should help him." Luji also says, "I was thinking the same thing." Sheng says, "See how similar we both are?" But Luji says nothing and starts to leave. Sheng holds her hand, but Luji pulls her hand away and says, "I don't want to talk to you. You should leave." And then she leaves from there. A little while later, Sheng brings Yongle to his dorm to stay, where all the roommates are surprised at first. But Sheng explains to everyone, the university has already punished him, so now we should help him. Luji still maintains her distance from Sheng, but her heart still beats for Sheng. Then another day, Luji and Bali are in the canteen. When Luji asks Jang about his date with Linji, Jang nonstop starts to badmouth her. Bali jokingly says to Luji, "Maybe he is planning to propose to you." The next day, there is a big investors meeting at the university where Sheng has to present his best. He is confident. Luji is watching him from a distance. When she is watching him from the balcony, there is a strange smile and pain in her eyes, as if she wants to say, "I still love you, but I am stopping myself." After the meeting, Sheng looks for Luji. In the next scene, a party is going on. Luji, Bali, and Linji are enjoying cakes with Jang. Sheng is watching Luji from a distance, but he can't talk to Luji because investors have surrounded him. Everyone wants Sheng to join their company. A little later, Luji, while trying different things, goes towards the food corner where she meets Mr. Yuan. Mr. Yuan offers his food piece to Luji, saying, "Wow, we both have the same choice." But Luji doesn't give any reply, just looks at him with an attitude and leaves from there. Then, sitting alone, Luji is enjoying food when Mr. Yuan comes back there again. He asks, "What are you listening to?" and then says, "This novelist is my favorite too." Upon which Luji directly asks him, "What do you want from me?" Mr. Yuan says, "I am impressed by your intelligence and confidence." Everyone is chasing after investors while Luji is just enjoying the party. Mr. Yuan gives her his business card and says, "You can join my company anytime. You will get double salary." At this moment, Sheng comes looking for Luji, but accidentally spills wine on Chan. Gavi, who is already drunk, starts shouting at Sheng. Chan goes to the washroom, and Bali is already inside. On the other side, Sheng finds Luji again. He hears her talking to Mr. Yuan, where Luji clearly says, "There are many other beautiful girls inside. You can give them a job offer. I have no interest." Mr. Yuan smiles at this. He likes Luji's attitude. But when he extends his hand to shake hands with Luji, Sheng immediately comes there and says, "Sorry, Mr. Yuan. Everyone is looking for you inside. Please come." Mr. Yuan has a little doubt whether Sheng is Luji's boyfriend, but he says nothing and leaves from there. When he leaves, Sheng sits next to Luji and says, "If you are thinking of joining their company, then be prepared. You will have to become his girlfriend too because I don't think his intentions are right." Luji notices everything. She says, "You keep this card. I have no interest," and leaves from there. Her bag remains in the same place. Sheng picks up that bag. A little later, when the chaos of the party is settling down, Luji is outside, and Sheng finds her again. This time, he puts his coat on Luji and puts his hand on her shoulder. But when Luji starts to walk back, Sheng hugs her from behind. Then Sheng finally confesses, "I don't just love you, I want to marry you," upon which Luji is left stunned. She says, "I told you before to clear your feelings, then talk to me." Sheng says, "I have understood everything. I am serious. Can't you see the love for you in my eyes?" And then he says nonstop, "I like you, I like you, I like you." Luji covers her ears and runs back to the dorm, saying to herself, "Did he propose to me? Does he want to marry me?" After this, in the next scene, Luji is with Sheng on the rooftop to celebrate New Year's night. Only a few minutes are left until midnight, and Sheng makes a heart shape for Luji with a cracker. Then he also makes a heart with his hands and sends it towards Luji. Luji is very happy to see all this. It feels like a declaration of love to her. When the clock strikes exactly 12, the entire rooftop view lights up. Luji says, "This is our first New Year together." I hope we spend every New Year together. Shang holds her hand and says, of course, always together. They both look at each other with loving eyes. The next day, Luji is worried that Bali has not yet returned to the dorm. When Bali finally arrives, she happily announces, I celebrated the new year with a gentleman. Luji is also happy to see her happiness. They are both at breakfast when Bali gets a message from Gavi on her phone. He asks, will you have breakfast with me? This is the first time Gavi has messaged so early in the morning. At the same time, a message also comes from Mr. Yuan, who wants to meet Bali. Bali requests Luji to come along because she feels weird meeting him alone. Luji agrees after some hesitation. When they meet Mr. Yuan, Luji is surprised. She recognizes that this is the same man she met at that event. Mr. Yuan happily says, it's good to see you again. Bali asks them both, do you know each other? Mr. Yuan replies in the affirmative. When Bali goes to the washroom, Luji directly asks Mr. Yuan, are you serious about Bali? Or is it just a fling? Mr. Yuan calmly replies, I am serious. I find her cute. Then he explains that he came to talk to Luji at the event that day because he said, my professor had told me about your intelligence. Luji says, I just want no one to hurt Bali. Otherwise, it won't be good. After saying this, she leaves from there. In the next scene, Luji is on her way to meet her brother Yang when she suddenly spots Sheng and Hania. Hania is about to hug Sheng. Luji is shocked. The boy who was promising to marry me last night is secretly meeting his ex today. Without saying anything, Luji leaves from there. On the other side, Sheng is scolding Hania badly. You called me here urgently, and then as soon as you saw Luji, you tried to hug me just to create misunderstandings. There is nothing genuine in you or your love. Sheng says, now I will never talk to you again in my life. Then, he leaves from there. A little later, he finds out that there is a locket in his pocket, the same locket he had given to Hania during school time. Hania had lied. It was with Luji. When Luji came in front, Hania had put it in Sheng's pocket. On the other side, Luji is in a restaurant with Yang and Suzy, but she is crying. Suzy and Yang comfort her. After this, Yang gifts a ring to Suzy, but the ring is loose on her finger. Suzy doesn't get angry but is clearly hurt. Luji feels bad for Suzy. Here, Sheng is non-stop messaging Luji, but Luji doesn't reply at all. When Jang finds out about the situation, he says to Sheng, Luji's feelings are completely valid. You have hurt her. In the next scene, Sheng comes outside the dorm to meet Luji. When Luji doesn't meet him, he asks the girls to call Luji. Linji and Ruchi also come. Ruchi insists that Luji come down. Luji clearly refuses. When Ruchi forces too much, Luji threatens, I'll call the management. Then Bali and Linji take Ruchi away from there. The next day, Sheng is again outside the dorm. When Luji finally comes, Sheng wants to explain everything to her, that it was all just a misunderstanding. But Luji doesn't listen to a word he says. Then Jang gives his cycle to Sheng, but Luji says, I will not go with him. Then she goes with Jang. They are both eating ice cream. Then, Luji shares her heart with Jang. Linji, who is watching all this from a distance, feels jealous. Therefore, she goes to Sheng and says, maybe Jang likes Luji, and you like Luji, so please keep Jang away from your love life. After this, in the next scene, in the classroom, Luji does not let Sheng sit next to her. She says, this seat is for Jang. When Jang comes, Luji makes him sit next to her. Because of this, Sheng gets jealous. Luji, to make him feel even more jealous, starts fixing Jang's clothes. After this, Luji and Sheng together arrange a big opportunity for Yongle. The project that Yongle was developing, a company is now ready to buy it. And all this was possible because of Luji and Sheng's effort. Both of them together also got Yongle's name removed from the blacklist. But during all this, there is no direct moment between Luji and Sheng. Luji is still emotionally guarded. In the next scene, Luji is in the canteen where Sheng and Jang both come and sit with her. But Luji doesn't want to be with Sheng either. She gets up immediately and leaves, saying, Jang, you can have my soup's meat piece. Sheng gets annoyed hearing this, and as soon as Jang starts to take the meat piece, Sheng says, Luji is my future girlfriend. I will be the one to eat her meat. And then he takes the soup for himself. After this, when Luji goes to teach the children for tuition, Sheng is already present there. Seeing him, Luji is completely surprised. Sheng's aunt is also there, and she was the one who had invited Sheng. Now the children also start to like Sheng more, which irritates Luji. But when they are returning to the dorm together, Sheng calmly explains to Luji that whatever she saw with Hania was just a trap. And finally, Luji starts to soften a little. After this, when Luji is studying in the library, Sheng quietly comes and sits next to her. When Luji falls asleep while studying there, Sheng puts his jacket over her. In the next scene, Luji goes out at night for fresh air, wearing Sheng's jacket. As soon as she checks the pocket, she finds the same locket that Sheng had gifted to Hania during school time, and for which Hania had blamed Luji. Now, confusion and anger fill Luji's heart again. Does Sheng still remember Hania? In anger, she throws the locket into the water. After this, she meets Sheng and says, You were waiting for my answer, right? Whether I will marry you in the future or not. So here, listen now. And then Luji kisses Sheng, which completely freezes Sheng for a second. But the very next moment, Luji explains the meaning of that kiss. With this kiss, all my feelings are over. This was my final goodbye. Sheng is left in complete shock. He thought Luji had confessed her feelings to him, but it was the ultimate rejection. After this, he sits alone on the rooftop and thinks, has Luji started to hate him so much that she both likes and rejects him? In this emotional state, when his friend Ruchi comes and asks if he really kissed Luji, Sheng quietly says, yes, I did. Ruchi gets angry and takes out Luji's old diary from her possession and starts saying, do you even know how many lies Luji told to get your attention? Sheng was in shock that this diary was with Ruchi. He tries to take the diary, but Ruchi refuses. Then when he forcibly snatches the diary, Ruchi starts crying. On the other side, Jang is sitting sadly, and Sheng comes and sits next to him. Jang Ming first says, Linji kissed me today, but I broke up with her. Hearing this, Sheng is surprised, but then he also shares his story. Luji also kissed me today, and then immediately rejected me too. Hearing this, Jang goes into shock. What? Luji did that? Sheng nods his head and says, yes, and I don't understand why my life has become so strange. Jang says, maybe Luji liked the old Sheng more. Hearing this, Sheng decides that he will focus on his studies again as he used to do before. On the other side, Luji, who is having dinner with Bali, is also in shock when she tells the whole story. Luji says, maybe everything is over now. The next day, Bali is repeatedly disturbed, sometimes by Mr. Yuan's call, sometimes by Gavi's message. Luji turns off her phone so that she can focus only on exams. On the other side, Gavi is frustrated that Bali is ignoring his calls when Mr. Yuan meets him and casually says, I am also waiting for a girl, whom I like, when Gavi asks who she is, and Mr. Yuan says, Bali. Gavi's face pales. Now he realizes that the person Bali was with that night was none other than Mr. Yuan himself. In the next scene, Luji goes to Jang, who is in the canteen. She casually asks him, where is your girlfriend? So Jang tells her, we've broken up. Then, when he gives Luji a pancake, Luji laughingly asks, you haven't started to like me, have you? Jang laughingly says, you remember when you were calling me little brother, right? Then he reveals, all the things I used to do, giving medicine, bringing pancakes, were all at Sheng's request. It was Sheng who always took care of you. Luji is stunned to hear all this. She realizes that she shouldn't have rejected Sheng in that way. At this moment, Linji meets Luji. She's going abroad and admits her mistake. Maybe I was wrong for never appreciating Zhang's efforts. While leaving, she gives Luji something for Jang. After this, she comes outside the boys' dorm to give that thing to Sheng, but she comes secretly. But Sheng sees her. She acts as if she is talking to someone on the phone, but when Sheng calls, Luji's phone rings, upon which Sheng jokingly says, you would top in acting too, you should try this line as well. To which Luji says, don't follow me, exams are coming, you should focus. Sheng says, I can only focus by looking at you. When Luji starts to leave, Sheng holds her hand, but Luji pulls her hand away and leaves. After this, there is a scene after the exams. Sheng comes to Luji when she is alone. Sheng says, my love is true. I never lied, never made fun of you. I always took care of you. Luji is surprised looking into his eyes. Then, when Sheng says, give me a chance, I will always take care of you, never hurt you, Luji finally accepts him. The scene cuts, and then Luji and Sheng are both sitting outside a church with drinks. They are both feeling relaxed. Luji looks happier than she ever has before. Sheng comes closer to her. Luji is ready for his kiss, but Sheng drinks too much, and as soon as he closes his eyes, he faints. Luji laughingly says, you are quite cute. And then she also falls asleep there with him. It is the morning scene. Luji is sleeping near Sheng's feet, and Sheng is looking at her lovingly. When the sunlight falls on Luji's face, Sheng covers it with his book. As soon as Luji wakes up, she also looks at Sheng with loving eyes. Sheng goes to kiss her again, but Luji says, I haven't brushed. Sheng says, it doesn't matter, and then kisses her. Then Sheng is behaving like a child, sometimes teasing Luji, sometimes hugging and kissing her again and again. Sheng gives a hairpin to Luji and puts it on her with his own hands. Luji says, show me first, but Sheng clicks a photo first. When that cute photo of both of them is clicked, Sheng says, now give me a kiss as thanks. Luji blushes at first, but when she kisses him, she immediately runs away. Sheng tries to catch her, and they both are laughing. After this, coming back to the dorm, she meets Bali, who asks her where she was last night, to which Luji says, I was with Sheng. We are a couple now. Hearing this, Bali's reaction is like an excited child. She says, finally, you finally got your childhood love. Luji also smiles but feels Bali's sadness in her heart. She gently asks Bali if she is okay, but Bali doesn't say anything, only that she wants to go to her home for a few days. On the other side, as soon as Sheng comes out after attending class, his mom's call comes. She tells him that his grandfather is not well, and there are also many issues in the company. Because of this, she wants Sheng to come back home for a few days. Sheng agrees and says that he will leave today itself. He also says that when he comes back, he will tell her something important. Then, the next day, Luji and Sheng go on a small date. Luji is a bit nervous. She says, "I don't have experience in dating because you are my first boyfriend." Sheng smiles and says, "No problem, I have a lot of experience." Hearing this, Luji angrily stomps on his foot hard. They both burst out laughing and enjoy the date with fun and games. Then, while eating candy, a piece of candy gets stuck on Luzi's nose. Sheng comes close to her and softly kisses Luzi's nose to remove the candy. Luzi blushes. Then he puts his hand on Luzi's shoulder and starts buying more things. In the next scene, it is shown that due to the holidays, all students are going to their homes. Luzi is also going to her hometown with Sheng. At the airport, they both talk lovingly to each other. Sheng says, "I will introduce you to my family soon." Luzi says, "There is no need to hurry. We will do everything slowly." Sheng hugs her lovingly and then says goodbye to her. Then, when Sheng reaches his home, his mother is happy to see him, but his dad's mood is very bad due to business issues. When Sheng tells his mom about Luji, she is shocked. She says, "How can that girl become the daughter-in-law of a big family like ours?" But Sheng remains calm and says, "I will only marry Luji, no matter what happens." At this, his mother becomes silent. On the other side, Luji also tells her mom that she is dating Sheng. Her mom, who had already guessed, just says, "I trust you. You must have made a well-considered decision." Luji gets emotional. At night, when she is talking to Sheng on the call, they both feel relaxed hearing each other's voices. But at that time, Sheng hears the sounds of tension and fighting between his parents in his house. The tension in his house is because the company, a gift from her grandfather, is in Sheng's mother's name. Now there are arguments between Sheng's mother's cousins and his father over ownership. Hearing all this, Sheng gets very disturbed. The next day, Luji and Sheng are both making a snowman in the snow. They both wish each other good luck and make promises for the future. While playing in the snow, both look very happy. Later, when the semester starts again and all students return to the university, it is revealed from Luji and Jang's conversation that Sheng has not yet returned because his grandfather's health is still serious. On the other side, in the hospital, Sheng is listening to all the company's fights. Here, Luji has been selected by their university for an international seminar. When the teacher tells Luji this, she becomes very happy. Then, when she comes to the canteen, she finds out that Sheng has returned to the university. When she goes to see him, he looks very tired. Seeing this, Luji gets worried about him. But Sheng apologizes to her and says, "I know we just started dating and I'm not able to give you time, but tomorrow before you go to England, I will take you on a date." The next day, Sheng and Luji once again go to the amusement park where Sheng jokingly says to Luji, "Aren't you afraid of the haunted house?" Luji laughs and says, "Not at all. When I was little, I saved a lot of children." Hearing this, Sheng smiles, but as soon as Luji reveals, "I was the same girl who had saved a child outside the church," Sheng goes into shock. He realizes that the girl he had seen in his childhood was Luji herself. He says to himself, "That's why you always seem so familiar to me." He asks Luji, "Why didn't you tell me this before?" Luji lovingly says, "I was waiting for the right time." Then she asks, "Do you remember what you said to me that day?" Sheng says, "Now I remember. I said that you are only mine." In this moment, Sheng gets down on his knees and proposes to Luji, "Will you marry me?" Luji happily says, "Yes." They both hug each other. Then at night in the amusement park, when the fireworks start, Sheng comes close to Luji and kisses her. Then when Luji is going to England, Sheng bids her a loving farewell, but Luji's voiceover is heard. "That was the last day I saw Sheng. I had no idea that after this day, I wouldn't see him for years." Despite being in England, Luji talks to Sheng every day through texts and messages. Then when she comes back, she gives gifts to everyone. When she goes to the rooftop to surprise Sheng, she finds Jang there. Jang says Sheng is busy with some work. At first, Luji agrees, but when she goes outside Sheng's dorm the next day and calls, Jang's phone rings, meaning Sheng's phone is with him. Then Jang is forced to tell her everything. Sheng's grandfather has died, his dad is in jail, the company has gone bankrupt, and his mom is in the hospital. Sheng didn't want Luji to know all this and get distracted from her career. Luji keeps crying but says, "I will wait. No matter how long it takes, I will wait for him." On the other side, Sheng is engulfed in problems with his family. All relatives refuse to help him, so he promises the company workers, "I will fix everything." His dad's misdeeds are now coming to light, as he was the one responsible for Luji's father's accident. Time passes, a year goes by. It's graduation day, and a happy photo of Luji, Bali, and all their friends is clicked. Then there is a 4-year leap. Luji has become a successful lawyer, and Sheng has established his own business with Jang. Then, in an investor competition, Sheng pitches his project, the project that impresses all the investors. With time, both Luji and Sheng spend their nights looking at each other's pictures. Both are longing to meet each other but are waiting for the right time. In the final scene, Luji goes to her school as a guest speaker to give a speech. She thinks Sheng will not come. She's going to sign alone when suddenly someone signs with her. It is Sheng. Luji is shocked. Then she becomes very, very happy. Sheng also gets emotional seeing Luji, and in this moment at the school where their love had started, their reunion takes place. Now both, with a successful life, are about to be united with each other forever. And with this, the drama concludes.